Hey everyone, good evening from Northern England. And almost no clinician I coach actually wants to leave work. What they want is to leave the rota, that schedule for somebody else that somebody else just made. Um, so if you don't know me, welcome. I'm Rod Gamble. I'm your career coach for clinical people to get into digital health. That way they get to stay in healthcare and sort of lose the parts of healthcare work that have been taking the fight out of them for so long. So, a quick promise for the next 10, 15 minutes is this is not a quit medicine, quit nursing kind of pep talk. It's about your calendar wrapped around the work week and who actually controls it. So, an honest question to start is it the work that breaks you, or is it the schedule around the work? Type work or rota in the chat tonight. Let me take you back to when I was a kid. One classroom, one teacher who ran the whole thing self-paced. He was odd and different. We each built a little cardboard privacy screen around our desks, and mine had a curtain, and it read, in my best handwriting, "Now presenting Rodney Gamble." And here's the part that stuck with me. Once I met the basic requirements, every kid in the room had to do this, I was free to sort of surge ahead. And as a result, I finished the next 3 years worth of modules before the Christmas break. Not because I was so smart or gifted or anything, but because for the first time I wasn't waiting on the whole room to catch up. I learned something at that little desk all those years ago that I've never unlearned. Under the right conditions, I can move at my own pace, and I valued that more than almost anything. Now, hold that up next to a regular hospital rota, your schedule. Same person, opposite conditions. The ward doesn't run at your pace. It runs at the pace of the schedule, and you wait for permission to breathe. Burnout is far less about the hours than about who controls them. The schedule is the wound, not the calling. When burned out clinicians actually slow down and look, it's rarely the patient in front of them that's draining them. It's the night shift that wrecks the next 3 days. It's a leave request that comes back denied. It's the phone that rings on the day off. And this isn't just me. In one 2026 read of the workforce, 55% of the nurses said flexible scheduling that fits their life would reignite their passion for the job. Not more money, not less caring, just control over when they work. That same survey space, more than half of U.S. healthcare workers are weighing leaving in the next year, with burnout named as the driver. But look closely, and it's the shifts, the weekends, the unpredictability doing the damage. So here's the real question. If the calling is intact and it's the number that's broken, why are we treating those like the same problem? The peer-reviewed work points somewhere quite liberating. Setting, not specialty, is one of the strongest drivers of balance. Same training, same profession, different environment, different life. We assume the fix is to leave the ward, leave medicine, leave nursing, start over. Nah, but that's the wrong lever. It's the environment that's doing the damage. Then when you change the environment, you don't have to change the career. And the environments where clinicians land are concrete, not theoretical. Clinical people tend to land in informatics, telehealth, remote patient monitoring, utilization review, safety officers, remote case management, EHR configuration, and digital transformation, like me, so many years. Real roles and real clinicians it's hiring right now. The demand side has moved towards you. In 2026, nearly half of clinicians say they're open to telehealth roles, and health systems are building internal, flexible staffing pools on purpose. Therefore, you're not desperate, you're in demand. In these roles, time is a planning matter, not a permission matter. And that's the whole difference. Also, there's a quiet little tailwind here. Ambient AI documentation is following the same curve the EHR did. About a third of providers already have access, with the majority of adoption expected by the end of 2026, and early trials show less time in the note and lower burnout. The clinicians who position now, while the field is forming, tend to catch the premium roles before it floods. So you don't have to wait for a new job to start owning your calendar. The move is smaller than people fear, and you can practice it this week. Name the exact part of your schedule that's breaking you. The nights, the canceled leave, the no notice swaps. You can't fix I'm exhausted, but you can absolutely fix I have no control over when I work. Audit one ordinary week. Mark each block as chosen or imposed. And that ratio, not the hour count, is your real burnout number. So before, my whole life bled into the rota, into the system, just to keep it standing. After, I kept the work that mattered, and I left the calendar behind that was never really mine. And those real job descriptions this week, in the informatics, the telehealth, the remote monitoring, utilization. Notice how leave and hours and remote work are framed. You're just gathering evidence that another shape of a week exists. It's really out there. I've coached a nurse recently who's shifted entirely from clinical care into, she was at the bedside dealing with all of the families for transplant services. Completely into digital health now. Her days slowed down. She got lunch breaks. She got coffee at her desk while training to do a more and more complicated job. A complete shift in her reality throughout each day. She's happier for it. When we started all of that, she was happy to use everything that nursing taught her. But right now, I think she's happier that she hasn't worked a weekend since then. Don't worry. You're not going to be giving up on healthcare for this. You're going to keep the calling. You're just going to adjust the container that it lives in for you so that you can keep doing it. If you think you're too senior, too far in to start over, the nurse I was just describing, she was not a new grad nurse, 25 years of experience, right? Something like me. And do you think all of these roles are already gone or oversubscribed? No, it's just kicking off. It's just getting started. In 2 or 3 years, it'll be nice and full and flooded. But for now, it's experienced clinicians that they're exactly short of. That's where we are. So you don't have to leave the work to get your life back. You just have to take back the rota that was never really yours to begin with. So when you're ready to talk, rodgamble.com is where you find me. Next week, we cross back into the better bargain, the money side of the same move that I've described already today, and how owning your time and owning your earning power turn out to be the same skill.